Tesla's in a major point here, guys, as today we've closed with a very nice wide green bar. Buyers trying to really push this stock up after descending for some time and getting out of a major descending range. This is the time that the buyers finally push the stock up to those $367 levels, the top of this formation here. Or are we going to continue our movement downwards? All right, getting this analysis started on the weekly time frame, guys. We see right here that we got out of this descending range, right? We see this nice move up, kind of a flag and pole like structure, right? And we get this little bit of back and forth. We're chopping, chopping, chopping. But more recently, guys, we see a nice green wide bar on the weekly. We have one more day of trading to go. Today is Thursday. We've closed, and we have one more day of trading left this week. So far, I mean, this is looking beautiful for the buyers. We see sellers step in over the past few weeks, but we see that buyers are still in the fight. We're trying to hold higher. So far, after this overextended run up, we've retraced about half, and it looks like we are holding around that level of 288 being our major support. I think we do get that leg up, touching the top of that 367 over the next few weeks, guys. And taking a further look out, guys, we see that Tesla has these volatile swings, right? We see these volatile swings up and down, but we're kind of staying between that zone of, say, that 288 to that $220 level. We see these swings. We see the majority of price actually kind of between those levels, kind of chopping, chopping, chopping. And once we get back in that zone, guys, that's where we see that boom. Big leg up all the way to 488, hitting all-time highs. And then after we hit that zone, guys, we can now hold, and we see this drastic sell-off mirroring that exact movement. See that huge leg up, but then, guys, we see the exact mirroring huge leg down. So really just back and forth going on, and that's what Tesla likes to do. But then, guys, we try again, break out of that descending range, and we can't get exactly to those highs, but we do get up to around that $367 level. And instead of fully mirroring and retracing back down, looks like we have a little bit of back and forth, but we are holding right at that 288 support. Looking like we want to trend back up with the recent price action that we've been getting. All right, guys, take you to the daily now as we get a better, closer eye view perspective, right? We get out of that descending range. We see a flag and pole-like structure, right? Pole, flag. And pretty much what price is doing is stair-stepping. We see these big movements up, and we see chop. We don't see a pullback, right? So buyers are getting out of the zone. We see chop. Buyers continue their movement up. We see chop. Buyers are trying to continue their movement up once again, cannot get that extra leg up, and we see sellers kind of step in, only pushing us halfway down, right back to that first consolidation chop zone. And instead of fully retracing, we bounce at that $273 level, and once again, we see a very similar formation, slightly smaller. We see that movement up, and we see that chop, and we see a movement up, sellers pushing us back down. So sellers get us back down to the zone of 288, but we hold that 288 instead of tapping that $274 level. And we see a lot of indecision, right? Kind of a lot of back and forth. Small body candles here. Not a lot of control in either side. But today, guys, we see this beautiful green wide bar. So when you guys see a wide bar like that, often in a trend of indecision, pretty much what that is signaling, guys, is a shift in momentum, a shift in direction. So we see small bodies kind of all over the place, right? So it's kind of pushing us down back to that level, but tap that 288 for one day. We see a little bit of back and forth, 1-2 tight candles, but then, guys, we get that beautiful wide green bar showing that buyers have gained back that control. The candle like that usually signals a longer term move up, so it's definitely expected to see us tapping that $333 level, getting back in this chop formation, or getting back in this further consolidation. So price has effectively done is gotten a move up, chopped, another move up, chopped, tried to do it again, couldn't get it, come back down to that first chop zone, and we get that bounce, but we don't fully get to that top consolidation zone. We chop at a new chop zone, try to get that leg back up, sellers step in, and then you see some indecision, and then we get that nice green wide bar on today's day of trading. So guys, we're leaning short-term bullish after that price action, as well as long-term bullish, given that we got out of this descending range, meaning that there is more room for the buyers in this case scenario than the sellers. And we had a lot of bad news indicating this type of movement right here. So we got out of this range, buyers really gained that control. And what you see here is the Trump and Elon controversy. That's where we got that big movement down with all those consecutive red candles in a row. But instead of retracing all the way, like a lot of people would think, given that bad news, we hold higher about halfway of this overextended run up. And then, guys, we get that movement back up, slightly holding lower, creating a lower high. And then we get a lot of that chop. But then seeing a candle like this, guys, really indicates that we are ready for another leg up. And we are looking good here on the daily. We'll definitely have to see what the next day or two brings us to give us a little bit of a better perspective, as it's a very choppy zone. Now on the hourly, it shows us that break of that long-term range, right? We get up, chop, try to get up again, get shut down, get up, consolidate once again, get into this ascending support and this resistance. All of these zones find a resistance and a support and break out. So we find another one right here, get that leg up above that 348, cannot hold. We get pushed back down using this resistance as support for some time, but we can't hold that. And we see a movement down towards that 288, but we do hold a bit higher, trying to move back up, but then we ultimately gap down. And then we see that touch of that 288, only touching it for 1 hourly candle, guys. So good sign there, as this is some strong support. And then we chop pretty tight, get that movement up, higher low right here, right? Low, low, low. So we're in an ascending type of formation over the more recent hourly price action. And after that, guys, we see a nice movement up. So let's try to step in. Buyers step in once again, and you see that the control is starting to go to the buyers. A lot of indecision here and here, but we see that that is a higher low, and the buyers start to step in. So we see a lot of indecisive movement. Do move down, meaning that the sellers were really in control here. There's a lot of back and forth because then the buyers try to push it all the way back up, gap down, a lot of volatility and back and forth. You don't really see that as of recent times, right? We see drastic sell-offs, but we don't really see price action quite like this. We have effectively broken through kind of a descending resistance here, guys. So after selling off and hitting this ascending support, we see that price kind of taps this resistance zone right here, guys, make it a little bit tighter. And then we get that gap down, move back up, find that exact resistance, and that's where you see another gap down. Price is gapping down. Buyers are reacting to that, trying to push it higher. Price gaps down again. So best case scenario here, guys, for the buyers is that we get that move out here and we don't see a continued gap down. So if we get this movement up and all is well, more bad news doesn't keep flushing in with the stock, we should be very much prone to hitting that $333 level, reclaiming that, and trying to get back in this chop zone, kind of consolidate between those levels. But guys, if we do see another gap down coming up, we could see a continued trend downwards, but I do think that we are getting the leg up here. Definitely looking good for us, for buyers to break through this level and trend to that 333. If buyers start to pick up that steam and volume starts to flush in, definitely could aid a movement to that 367 high right there, that ceiling of that overall formation, continuing our overall movement up. So watch those closer support and resistance zones. Stay patient, as there was a lot of back and forth on these more recent daily candles. We do see a very nice green wide bar, but watch for the sellers to mirror that. Watch for them to step in and react to that movement up. If they cannot do that, guys, and we fully break out of that resistance that we had marked up on the hourly, it's looking very good for that retest of 333 and onwards. When trading Tesla, guys, watch news closely, as there's been a lot of news circling around Tesla recently. So that definitely plays a factor, as we've seen all those recent gap downs, guys, and that recent big sell-off here. So watch the news. Tesla is very much prominent in the news as of recent time. From a TA perspective, we're looking good here, guys. We are bullish on Tesla. I think we get that leg up. If you guys enjoyed and want to see more Tesla content, make sure to like and subscribe, as I'll continue to cover Tesla. Comment your price predictions below, guys. Let me know what you guys are thinking, as well as any other tickers you want me to cover. As always, trade smart. I will see you all in the next one.